Hey, how is everybody tonight? It's good to have you here, Tim.
Hey, Dave. Thank you for having me.
I'm excited to have you down here. So Trilaterum. So why don't you tell us a little bit about the background of the game and you know what the sort of the basic story of the game is?
Sure. So Trilaterum is a 15 millimeter sci-fi miniatures game. It's set far in the future. You know, humans have reached out to the stars and started to colonize and seek new worlds. And as they do that, obviously they're going to bump into other life forms and alien races and that sort of thing. And, you know, some are nice, some are not so nice. And so this is kind of the unfolding story of those interactions between the alien races, the humans, the Binocs, the Draconids, which is our lizard man race. We've got the Agaricale, which is a race of sentient fungus mushrooms. We have the Trolls, which are kind of evil and cold and unflinching race that have undiscovered some interesting technology that they like to employ on the battlefield. We have the Elios, which is a completely AI race, non-organic. So it's a lot of fun. The story at the moment is fought around a world called Saren's Rim, and the Dominion have landed there. They've been fighting with the Agaricale and not doing so hot. So the Dominion are actually an offshoot of the UEL, which is the humans. And so the UEL is coming back there to kind of find out what's going on with the Dominion because they've lost contact, and they're trying to reestablish contact. And as they arrive, well, the Binocs have shown up, and they're kind of scavenging the world for resources to utilize.
Very
so
cool.
That's kind of the current storyline of the game.
Cool. You got a lot of background there. That's really great.
Thanks.
So I got to ask, where did you come up with the inspiration for the names? All the names of the factions, and then what was your inspiration there?
I just think of something that I think sounds interesting and cool, and that's what I named them.
That's very original. That's very cool. No, I think it's really, really cool. So how long you been? Was this the first game you've designed?
Yes. So this is the first game I designed. I had the first printing I did of Trilaterum was back in 2016, and we are now on our third version of the book. We did a big revision about 3 years ago, and right in the middle of COVID, I did another revision to update art, update some of the profiles. The basic mechanics and rules of the game haven't changed, but we just have been polishing them and making them just better and better and getting a better product out to everybody. As well as we've worked on a full brand new range of miniatures as a 3D printed offering to go along with the game. And like I said earlier, our sculptor JC, she does an amazing job and really captures the vibe and
I love the retro
that I'm
feel.
going
It's just
for.
so cool. It's very cool.
She's an amazing sculptor.
No, that's awesome. Yeah, I may have to steal her for my game.
Oh, no, don't you dare. Don't you dare.
I'm coming for her. Here I come. So, with that game, what's your favorite game mechanic that you've got in the game? Do you have something that you really that you created for the game for as far as mechanic goes that you really like over another?
The rapid fire system. I think it's just a lot of fun, and it really it's really interesting to watch it play out in games. You have some conservative players that won't use it at all. You have some players that they rapid fire every chance they can get. I had one gentleman in a game that I was running at a convention one time. He started his roll, and at the end there was 26 hits, and he just decided, well, I guess that's enough hits. You know, he just kept going and going and going, and that's just amazing. And then you have the guy that does it once and rolls an 8 the first time he does it, and he says, I'm never using that again.
Like Manny.
Poor Manny.
Where is he?
Poor Manny.
Yep. So, the other question I wanted to ask you is, does Trilaterum have a meaning, or is it just another thing that you came up with?
So when we originally wrote the game, there were 3 races. It was the UEL, the Barad, and the Draconids. And Trilaterum, I was kind of going for a circular 3 vibe.
Okay.
So that's kind of where the original name came from. And even though we have more races than that now, it just still works, and I love the name, and that's kind of where it came from. We actually are working on, we've got the UEL, the new UEL, and the new Draconids, and the Barad are actually on the sculpting plate, so we will see those sooner rather than later, so they'll get filled in.
Cool.
So they'll be back into
Awesome.
the mix.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So did you design your terrain too, or did JC do the terrain for you as well?
So I do most of the terrain myself. JC did the rock formations that you see on the table, but all the
Very
mushrooms and the alien spiky cactuses. I took inspiration from some other things that I saw out there. I just really wanted to have a feel on the table of an alien world, just something that's not trees and grass and things that you would see here on
that's
Earth.
Great. The aesthetic
know?
is excellent.
Thank
I really
you.
like
Thank
it.
you.
It's very cool. So I know that John stole some of my thunder because he was talking about the expansions and things like that, but that's okay. So it's good you've got some expansions already planning in the works there that are coming down the pike.
Yes, yeah, we've got a lot of we've been putting a lot of development into a scenario pack that's going to be coming out very soon, which is going to be kind of it's going to be an interesting way that we do it. It's going to be almost a cooperative, so you're going to play with somebody else, and you're trying to stop some things that are happening on the table. I don't want to give away too much.
Yep.
But there'll be a terrain piece, there'll be miniatures, the scenarios all in the pack that'll kind of give you a nice narrative play to kind of have some fun with your friends on the tabletop.
Very cool.
Yeah. As well as we've got more armies, more models coming. We're working on some match play stuff so that people can, have not a tournament, so to speak, but be able to get together in numbers and play some narrative matched play
Oh,
together.
that'll be great. I'm sure we can have some fun with that here at the compound.
Sure.
Absolutely. That's excellent.
I really wrote the game to have fun.
Yeah.
And I think that in that type of a scenario, I think people can have a lot of fun with some cool narrative matched play and still get that, a little bit of a competitive vibe, but still have a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's very cool. Very cool. So, where can people find out about your game, and where can they buy the product?
So all of our product is available on our website, which is www.trilaterum.com. We have the rules, we have the starter sets, miniatures, terrain. All of our rule books, scenarios are available also on drive-thru and digital. We just put up the updated army lists. Army lists updates will always be free for people to download as we add units and make changes to units. Just download the new unit lists, print them out. I also have physical copies at any show that I go to. Come stop by the booth. I'll give you a free copy of the updated list so that you can have the latest and greatest. I want people to have fun and enjoy the game.
Absolutely, that's great. I'm very excited that you're here tonight. And
Thank you.
And it's been a great afternoon. Just on a final note, before we leave, do you have any advice for any would-be game designers? I know that when I started, you were huge in giving me a lot of advice, and I was wondering if you had any thoughts on somebody that was going to get into it that wanted to design a game. What would be the first thing that you'd tell them?
I tell them, take your time. It's not a race. It's take your time, look at what you're trying to develop, and polish it up as much as you can, and have fun. Because if we're not out here having fun,
Absolutely.
What are we doing?
Absolutely.
I took a lot of time when I originally wrote the first set of rules before we printed, and there was some stumbling on the first printing, but that was to be expected. But I think if I hadn't taken all the time for playtesting and for rereading the rights and proofreading, it all goes in and gives a better product,
Very cool. Very cool.
Thanks.
Well, thanks for coming out tonight, Tim. And
no, thanks for having me. It's been a blast being here today. It's been great seeing all the people out down here and talking to people and showing them all the great things that Trilaterum has to offer.
That's great.
And watching Manny roll those 8s. Oh, poor Manny.
Yeah, those things happen, and they always happen to Manny. So, on a final note, on a shameless plug, 19 Souls, which is Bloody Scotsman Games' Devil in the Wilderness. We've got 19 Souls is going to be coming out with a second edition very, very soon. It's actually, they've got advanced copies here at the compound, so I'm sure they'll be giving those away on stream in the coming weeks. They're in production now. We'll see them within the month, so they'll be on the site, and you'll be able to purchase them on our website or through the compound here, and as well as Tabletop Games. So from that point, let's go back to the game. Thank you.
Thank you.